I would like to hear from you, what is your company's strategy in driving sustainable industrial transformation in the domestic market that is actually still developing in Indonesia? It's actually a paradigm and a mindset. You know, you see industrial sector, but you also want to see it greener. You also want to see it more sustainable and greener for the future. And Indonesia, there are still a lot of challenge on implementing that. How would you like to see this from your perspective?
So now I've been in Indonesia for a while now, and what I've noticed is that industries are a lot more matured when it comes to sustainable practices than we actually think.
Okay.
Yeah, I can give you an example. Now we have in the pulp and paper industries, for example, in Indonesia, are so advanced in the sustainable practices, which we have also supported with our practices together in a very large way. So the sustainability goals that these companies have adopted is far more mature than we would originally think where it is today. Of course, it is different from industry to industry.
Of course.
Yes, more mature industries like pulp and paper has a lot more maturity in sustainability goals. But maybe other industries, maybe food and beverage or agriculture, may still needs a lot of help in them realizing the benefits of going towards that direction. So we have adopted a couple of strategies and technologies that we could help these companies accelerate their sustainability goals together. Some, just to name a few, we have a condition monitoring practice that we help these industries to adopt. Now, what do I mean by condition monitoring? If you imagine a factory, it's all run by equipments and machines. It can break down any time because it's being running. Now, if the company or the factory is adopting a reactive maintenance practice, which means they only react when something breaks down. Now, that in itself is a big wastage, don't you think? From carbon emission perspective, energy perspective, people, right? Everyone is reactive towards a breakdown, right? So what we try to help is, we try to help these companies move from a reactive-based practice towards a more predictive-based practice, which means we help them to predict when their machines are going to break down.
Okay.
So we have those technologies in ways of sensors, in ways of monitoring the condition, where we can help these companies predict and plan their maintenance cycles or shutdowns. So this way, it reduces the carbon emission for them. It is reducing the energy consumption for the factories, and it also reduces the need of overspend on manpower, for example, when it comes from a reactive mode. So we want to transition these industries from reactive maintenance to a more of a predictive maintenance.
That's a wonderful mindset and wonderful tools for that. So your company has been operating for 39 years this year, right? In Indonesia.
Yes.
1986.
40 years, I would say.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah. Almost 40 years.
Yes.
So for those very long journey in Indonesia, do you have any local partners to collaborate, or how is your company's collaborations and strategy communication with the regulatory framework, with the governments of Indonesia, in order to be more efficient and in order to meet the needs of industrial transformation sustainably?
Let me maybe put in the context of how it was in the past, right? I think 30, 40 years ago, not just Indonesia, I think Asia as a general has been quite in a challenge when it comes to regulation and regulatory bureaucracy from a government perspective. Yeah. That happens in any country, in every country. Okay. But what has happened in the last few years or 5 years, I would say, I think government has already started to understand the need of sustainability goals in line with international standards. So they are very much more open today for dialogues. They're very much open for collaboration. And I think the Chambers of Commerce does a very great job in connecting.
So you're working closely with them?
Absolutely, absolutely. With the embassies as well. So creating those dialogues together with the government. And I think that is key. The more we collaborate, the more we talk, the more privateers like us get involved in policy making, for example. We can bring in that fresh eyes of what is needed from a customer perspective or industry perspective to help regulators to have a more wholesome policy rather than having it looked at it only from a government perspective.
Okay.